First we go to the motivation of the research. For the approach and process, we have an historic evolution. It could we could say that it started with Adam Smith, with the idea of the division of labor in the 18th century. It continued to Frederick Taylor, with the scientific management and for the mass production, which every person, you would focus on the individual, how he performed the task. Then we went to the total quality control and plan, do, check, act, control. So you had more focus on the process. You came from the individual to the organization in the process approach. We had later the total quality management with Dellinger and Crosby. We have had Motorola Six Sigma, which is a derivation from total quality management in the 80s. The idea of Six Sigma is to improve process quality to a level below 3 or 4 defects per million opportunities. And we have in the 9th continuation of the business process reengineering. This is an evolution of the concept of process through history. We can call process approach any activity which receives inputs and converts them to outputs may be considered a process. This is the definition by the Australian Standards and New Zealand Standards. It is the same as the International Standards Organization. The systematic identification and management of the process followed by an organization and the interactions between such process may be referred to as the process approach. So it has been the evolution, and today we have this concept of process. We have the concept of process maturity. It started on the total quality management discipline with Philip Scorby, but we have lots of models for process maturity as the well-known CMMI, and we have also many other models to use in the industry. We have process reference models for IT services, mostly for software development. These models, they're assessment models they provide a set of process for a set of activities. We have for process, general for process assessment. We have one specifically for the software lifecycle development, maintenance. We have other models like CMMI, which is have the same objective, but it's made by a different organization, not ISO. It's by the Software Engineering Institute. We have other models which are derived from this. Mostly they focus on the fact that the CMMI was not very appropriate for the small companies, and they have developed a series of models for process assessment, process reference models for small companies or countries in development. The most known process reference model is the CMMI. It is comprised of 5 levels, regarding to capability level, to maturity level, and there is also the continuous CMMI, which is comprised by 6 levels, but they talk about capability level. The CMMI groups processes into the levels. To achieve CMMI level 2, an organization is supposed to perform this process. And they are in some process areas like engineering, which is the making the software itself, and they have support areas and project management areas. For level 3, it increases the number you have to add. Besides the activities you performed in level 2, you have to add a series of other activities, and so goes on for level 4 and 5. What is the problem we are trying to research on? All these models, they provide reference for improvement, but they have few guidelines on which one to adopt for each case, and every model wants to sell their model. My model is better. My reference model is better than the other. CMMI says that it's better than the other. CMMI says I can get a nice result. ISO also says I can get a nice result. And what are they? They are a set of established goals, outcomes, and activities. This is compatible with their process approach defined by ISO, and they provide no guidance on how to improve. They don't provide guidance. They provide what should be. They have little focus on the organizational and business needs. They say you must do this, but they do not make any regards on your organization, your business goals, or your business needs. They usually have a very high cost, and they have no return assured. Many companies have deployed the CMMI, have deployed ISO 15504, and they have no guarantee of the results because they have an established set of goals to achieve, and those goals may be not necessarily the one the company needs to achieve. And there is currently a stakeholder delusion with the product improvement models. And they have the question, it's not, as I said before, they are not tailored for business needs or organization size. They say one size fits all, like everyone can deploy CMMI. So, but it has been already contradicted by some offers that say CMMI is no good for small and medium enterprise, for example. And how can we improve the process improvement? We can provide a model for assessment of effectiveness, so we can measure if the process improvement model is really improving or not, and what it should improve. Effectiveness, the concept of effectiveness, is related to business goals, is the purpose of the process improvements initiatives and models. We must remember, when you are deploying like CMMI or ISO, that we do not are deploying to be compliant with the model itself. We are deploying to improve the company, the organization. It is usually a confusion because the organizations want to say, I am CMMI level 4, but, and so, how does it help your company? And there is an approach by the proposers of the reference models that they focus too much on compliancy and too few on improvement. Today, we don't have a framework for assessment of effectiveness of processes. It has been published by IVES and ITRM study made in 2006. And with this process improvement model, we want to assess which process should be improved first of all, which processes are no good with your business, which processes are needed to be improved, because you can have a process which is not necessarily important for your company, and you should not spend money improving it, because as you could see here, we have a lot of process. It doesn't say that, who says that this process is absolutely necessary for a company? They say these are the processes that you should improve. What is the background of this research? The process is defined as, by ISO, described by title, purpose, outcomes, activities, and tasks. The process improvement model are based on that framework of title, purpose, outcomes, activities, and tasks. Those models provide assessment. You can analyze which level of capability or maturity you are now, and they are the basis for improvement. They say that these models are models for assessment and improvement. We have very now models, which I have talked about software. They have focus on software process improvement, which are the most common, the CMMI, ISO 15504. ISO 15504 is now currently generic, so you can apply for non-IT processes, for a process which are not software related. We have automotive spice, which is for automotive industry. And we have other models for process improvement which are not for software process. We have the ISO 20000, which is being developed. It's for IT service delivery, and the automotive spice, as I said before. What do these models assess? They assess conformance to a set of practices in regard to the completeness of a process measured against a set of baseline practices. This is the definition of Gartner rules. So they assess compliance, and not if that process is performed, it should be performed or not should be performed, and what is the relation to the business goals. They have minimum requirements for inputs, outputs, resources, and activities. They define which should be the minimum requirements. And they establish a strategy for collection of data and base the ratings of process capability on objective evidence. You have to provide objective evidence. You can't say that I do this process. You have to provide objective evidence. You have to provide documents. You have to provide a repository where you can consult this one. So you cannot assess on an informal basis. What are the green criticisms for this model?